Hello, 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 hello. Okay. Top of the week, right? Let's break down this kind of how I'm gonna be heading into the week. So, first pair, right? Is UJ. Already took a trade. Sunday, right? Sunday already took a trade. Closed out a $317 position right here. And this was just right now, right? So let's talk about it. Yeah, so let's start off on the monthly, right? On the monthly time frame. Damn, hold on, let me. Where is this? 30 minute. Where the heck is this? Oh, 5 minute? What time frame? It's this one right here. I don't know what time frame it is, but it has to be that one. Dang. Off the weekly. Is this one? Is it based off the weekly? Is it based off the daily? Could be based off the daily. Okay, so what? Okay. So what? No, it's right here. What the heck? What the heck is this? All right, let me just delete this one because I don't know what the hell. Actually, I think that is the one. It's this one right here. All right, so top of the week, right? Top of the week. So how am I looking at this, right? I'm pretty much overall still bullish, right? I can see that we're coming up to this like lower high point right around here. This lower high point. And now at this point in time, it's all about how. Damn, this one too. I don't know why all these are just showing up. All these lines are just showing up right now, so it's throwing me off a bit. I should delete it for now. Yeah, so we're coming up to this lower here, right? This little lower high point here. Now I can already see this as like a lot of this is just noise, right? So in reality, based off just this monthly time frame, I'm just kind of just looking at this push right here, right? So I see that we're still pretty much pushing up, right? So I think like more on like on the, I don't have it on this platform, but like on the 2 month, 3 month, right? This is like more of the lower high point that needs to be broken. Based off the 1 month, it's just kind of based off this little structure here, right? So with that being said, right, we're still pretty much, it's just like a, how I look at this, it's just a big push, right? We didn't get the engulfing here, maintain structure. Now we're still kind of pushing a little bit. And then same thing here, right? We kind of got that bullish candle here. That's that retracement. So that's that retracement right here. And then we still got the bullish candle here, which is the push up. Right here, this push. So now, right, once again, so okay, so that was the monthly, right? We're pretty much at this key level, trying to decide whether or not we're going to continue to push up or if we can just continue to push down, right? Now, yeah, right now we're just at this level, right? So even if we come down here, that would be considered a push to the downside. So we want to see how it acts here. Yeah, that can be like a long time, right? We're talking about the monthly time frame, so it's just like an overall like perspective type of thing, right? So now, based off the weekly, right? Same thing. We're at that lower high point. We're trying to see whether or not we can make like a higher high based off this, or if this is where this push is gonna end, right? I can already tell that I deleted one of my weekly zones. I don't know exactly. I'm about to redo them. I want to say I have one right here, if I'm not mistaken. So I think I can see this coming back down. I think I only had uh, one weekly key level, which was, I think it was this one if I remember correctly. So that means if this does sell off, I could start aiming for this area super long, right? But again, this is the weekly, right? Even if it gets to that point, that can take anywhere between a month to 2 months, even more if it consolidates right here, right? So I'm just taking it time frame by time frame, right? At this point, I'm just understanding that we're just at a key level, right? We're just at this lower high point, we're at this resistance level, and that's that. Right now we're getting weak candles, so it's a possibility that we can see a nice push to the downside, but till then is like it can take a while, right? But that being said, because of this doji, I am kind of anticipating a bearish move, right? That's kind of what I'm trying to anticipate a little bit. Now I want to be patient off that, right? It's the main reason why I entered a buy here, because I don't think, well, based off structure, it doesn't seem to be pushing as of right now, right? I would love, and again, anything can change, right? But I would love to see some type of lower high point right here kind of form, right? For me to start to kind of push the downside. I mean, even if it comes up here, whatever, maybe even get like a crazy wick or something, so and then push down, right? It can push down. It can push down in so many ways, right? So I'm not really worried about how it's gonna push down. I'm just more worried about being ready for the move if it does come, right? Again, and continue to push here, right? I'm still technically currently more bullish until I see reasoning, right? So right now, based off the, so again, we're going based off structure, right? So based off just the candles, daily structure, technically we have a higher low. Not technically, we do have a higher low, and then we got a higher high, and you got this higher low. So technically, that is the next point in structure. It's either going to be a higher high or a lower high point. That's the lower high. That's the lower high point that I would want to see, right? That'll be the lower high point that we would love to see, and then take, right? So even just understanding this bearish candle here, it's just a counter trend, right? A lower high point now would be a lot different, right? A lot different, especially because we technically do have this little support, which is this here, pretty much seen. So a lower high point would be very valid, right, in this push. That's on the daily. But again, how it comes, I don't know, right? But it's all about being ready. So as of right now, right, it could, like I just said, have pretty much, it can be here, or it can be some crazy wick, right? Or it can be a mix of both, right? It can do anything, right? So it's all about just being ready, right? So at this point in time, I am currently a little bit more bullish. Damn, look at that. So I'm really happy at the fact that this is on the H30. H4. Damn, where the heck are all these? This one? Hold on, okay. So I'm not even looking on the H4. I'm looking at the H1, right? Based off the H1. So obviously I understand based off the structure itself. We had a lower high, and then we had a lower low. We had a lower high, right? And then we kind of had this higher low point, but then we got a lower high point again, right? So this is why I entered a buy here, because technically we kind of pushed back, creating another higher low point. It's kind of like a high point, right? I mean, sorry, it's a low point, right? We didn't break the support. That's what that level of support here was. Boom, right? So we didn't break the support, still tested, which is why I entered a buy here. Literally, this is my buy position right there in this candle. Had to wait a little bit of this, and then ended up pushing up, right? I'm super happy I closed, right? Super happy. I stuck to technically my plan. And again, I think at this point, I was really debating whether or not to hold or to, again, close my position, right? But I'm glad I did, because that was my main analysis, right? So what I mean by that is I wanted to actually enter about another position here, right? So I wanted one more position. I actually wanted 3, but I don't think with my account size I was able to handle 3. I entered a 2 lot, and I wanted another 2 lot, right? So getting to this point was 300. So again, if I had another 2, I would have been up maybe like 900, right? But again, the reasoning for that, or even just another position, it would have been 600 something bucks, right? So again, the reasoning for that. is because I think I was in a really good position right here for us to like potentially see this go up. Right now, is it gonna go all the way up? That's the question, right? That's the main question. I was in a really good position. If it does end up pushing a little bit, even just up here, even up here, right? I was in a really good position. Even if this was kind of like push, retrace back a little bit, I was in a really good position, right? But that was not the goal, right? The goal was, again, I understood that this is a push, and at this point, that pushed over. Now, we could push again, right? After this candle here, we can push again, right? That could be the scenario. But I had told myself that even this would be my take profit one, where if I did put in another order, I was going to close either one of them and leave the other one open, right? But the fact that I only the fact that I only put one position, it kind of just canceled out. Like I couldn't hold it, right? I couldn't hold another position because again I only had one. And that's kind of my mindset, right? So every push that I try to like that I'm gonna be entering, I want to enter about two to three positions, for the main fact that I want to close two positions when I get to that like key level or that resistance level, and then leave that one, whichever one is the best position, right? Best risk to reward. That's the one I'm gonna leave on the table, so that I can potentially scale in and catch an even bigger move, right? But again, say for example, say what I wanted to do was put in a position, I would have closed the one, so then I would have been $300 in profit, and then I would have been comfortable in letting this other one, if I did, pretty much just be, right? And then try to scale in on top of that. But the fact that I only entered one is kind of like, I didn't want to go through all that. Like, let's say it retraces all the way back down here, or even retraces even back down there. That would have sucked, right? That would have sucked because I would have been putting myself in my account, right? I would have been losing when I would have up already. So this is why I want to enter at minimum two positions, so that at least I can close out when I need to close out. And then if I feel like, you know what, this still has potential to keep pushing, I can even scale in a little bit more, I'm gonna leave that other position so I can be able to do that, right? But at least I can make profit every single day, right? Because that's been my main thing that I've been kind of struggling with, is I gotta like close out, right? And there's been so many, I don't even know how many times I've been up $700, $800. Even I think the closest was like $900 I was up, and I didn't close, right? And I only end up closing with like $100. That's so much. That's not even just one or two or three. That's like 7, 8 times, right? But again, it's because I understand the overall move and I'm trying to catch that overall move, but then I'm also stuck to that current money, right? Like I'm not making money, so it feels like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like, I just feel like the money is more controlling me rather than I'm trying to catch the move, but I'm also trying to not lose the money, and it's kind of in this big battle. And then again, I go hours and hours within the trade, and then I only come out with $100 or something. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. When I was up 700, 500, $300, right? So that's my new kind of like my new improvement, I guess you can say, is enter just another one, right? I gotta enter another position so that it feels worth it. It feels like, okay, if I'm gonna hold this, even a little short move, like I said, say I had another position here. This is what I think I was in this one. This is 3 hours. In 3 hours, I would have made about $600 to $700 in 3 hours. That would have felt worth it. That would have felt worth it. You know what I mean? Even just this $300, cool, worth it. But again, what kind of almost had me stuck was the potential of this move, meaning that we just kind of bounced off this level. So I can definitely see this coming up to even here again, or like I said, even here, or even maybe somewhere up here. Kind of test this crazy area up here, right? I see that. I can potentially see that, right? So that's what kind of gets me in a little loop at times. Like I don't want to close, or I don't want to close, but I do want to close, and it's just I end up just messing myself up, right? And I'm actually happy that I closed, because now look, it is retracing. Now again, it could just stop retracing here and then shoot up. I am looking to enter another position, but again, we'll just take it little by little, right? If it wants to retrace all the way down here to this kind of like key level right here, by all means, right? And then make a higher low point to then be able to push even to this MA, or like I said, based off the daily it'll be, well, that MA lines up perfectly with this. That's a good little confluence. But again, maybe we can get a little extra little push and then hit this area again. So again, I'm still looking to enter one more position, right? And again, that would have been a perfect scaling opportunity for me, right? Say I entered, and again, I wanted to enter more, but again, I was at work, so I couldn't. But again, and I missed this candle. I entered at the end of this candle. So say I entered right here. Say my original position was my second position, and then the one that I wanted to, but I couldn't really focus on. Say I got in right here. So 1, 2, 3, right? And now I'm here. So then what I would have done, I could have close. And now I'm looking for another position, right? And I would maybe whenever that position comes to be, right? And even if this right here would have retraced all the way down here, by all means, right? I'm already $600, $500. Well, I would have been 500, $600 in profit for the day. So at that point, I'm not attached to this money here. Rather than if this is my only move and then it does retrace, now I feel like, oh, like I just wasted so much time just watching this. Didn't make no money. Now I don't even know if I'm gonna make money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a back and forth battle that I have with myself. That again, I don't have to go through anymore, right? Just again, 2 positions at minimum, right? 2 positions. So now, again, I'm just gonna look to kind of be in a sense, right? This MA is kind of. Okay, I gotta draw my key levels because I think I deleted one, but I think there's another one here as well. So again, I could see this coming up right here to the MAs, and maybe just maybe we get like a crazy wick into these areas potentially, but I do see us pushing into these areas right there, like at least to this like right here, boom, somewhere like right there, right, and then potentially we'll just see how it reacts, right? We'll just see how it reacts, and then we'll just kind of react off of it, and then just. Maybe that could be our sell opportunity right there. You know what I mean? Based off the fact that it'll be a lower high point. Right, like we talked about here. So again, one thing that I'm really, really glad I did is closed. Right, that lower high point here. And then this is where we would aim based off this weekly. Again, I'm not saying it's going to be smooth, right? It could even just kind of push here and then maybe understand that we have some struggle here. Maybe we get like a crazy candle. But again, at that point, if I'm trying to catch this move, again, same thing, right? 2 to 3 positions. Once it gets to here, I'm closing out 2 and I'm going to leave the best. But if I don't have a good risk reward, like if this were to push back, right? Pull back, max, would I still feel like, damn, like will my account be suffering, basically, right? Will we feel that attachment to that money there, right? And the answer should be no, but it all depends on our entry, right? I need to get a good entry, right? That risk to reward, biggest thing when trying to scale in, biggest thing. Because again, if I get like not a good entry, right? See, my best entry is like a bad entry, like right here, and then it ends up pushing, and then it pulls back. Like this is already, I can already like this is like a $500 stop loss. That's not what I want, right? I want to get that best possible one. So again, that is where we need to lock in, right around here, and then take that position, right? Just have that confidence, just take it. So again, right now we're just gonna just wait, right? Wait. That's kind of my next thing at this point, is just kind of understanding whether or not you might be able to push here. I want to feel forced, right? Like I have to enter, but again, it's all about whether or not we can really see this pushing back up to these MAs, right? But again, I'm not gonna sit here and just, we're $300 in profit for the day. We're good. We understand the overall move. We understand potentially the bigger move. Again, it's all about just reacting. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. H4, actually H4 and H1, right? These might start to kind of develop a little bit. Definitely, maybe H1 might be H1 will let us know whether or not it'll start to kind of whether or not it'll be ready to kind of push the downside, right? Especially this resistance here. So I think it'll start to kind of transition a little bit if we start to get more bullish candles right around here. Right, H4 looks okay-ish. Right, we have a little key, like a resistance level right here that we're not pretty much breaking. It'll be considered a double top. Also be considered a lower high or overall lower high point as well. So I think H4 would be that time frame that we start to kind of like lean towards, to start shifting towards that time frame for us to use. Yeah, so again, 300 bucks in profit, 317, not bad, right? GU I have not analyzed, but same thing. I don't know if I want to take a position just yet. I can see it's already pretty much bullish based off this candle. So far we ended up pushing up. Okay, not bad. Yeah, this would be something I would have to analyze. As of now, just kind of a little glimpse. Does not look like it's a hold on, daily. Actually, it might be. It might be a lower high point right here. Weekly. Yeah. This might actually be that lower high point. Another lower high point potentially. I'm not saying it's gonna be but maybe just again within this candle right here, maybe. Somewhere like right here, somewhere maybe within this level here. I think overall, if I remember correctly, based off last week, I'm still pretty much overall bullish. Yep. Based off here, based off weekly, right? We have this higher low, higher high. This is that higher low point. This is that bullish move, right? So we're technically still within that bullish move. Now, can we see maybe a push retracement back down here? Maybe to the MAs here. Maybe just another push. Maybe like another low. Maybe, right? So. But that would also be counter trending, right? So we got to be very, very careful with that. I'm very, very bullish, right? I'm still very, very bullish. I do see a lower high point here. There's a potential lower high point, the MAs, all that. So this is why I could potentially see a little push to the downside. But again, this could be left shoulder, head, potentially creating a right shoulder to give us that inverse head and shoulders. Maybe to potentially push it right. There's a lot of potential here, a lot of potential. But this is good, right? All this consolidation means that there's going to be a big move coming soon, right? Technically, off the daily, we're just kind of bouncing within these levels right here, right? So it's actually boom. Within these levels right here. It's kind of where we're just kind of bouncing off of. So it's all being patient, being patient. For the buy move, I would say that we are pretty much late for a good buy move. Like if this was going to be an overall push to the upside, we're late, right? Entry should have been here. Entry should have been anywhere between here. So we did move. We did miss that move, right? Now I could potentially see a little sell off right here. And depending on the risk to reward, depending on the trade, depending on the overall structure, we could still end up pushing a little bit more. Definitely. Oh, I mean, we're kind of already there, to be honest. Yeah, we already kind of hit these lows. So we're kind of already at the level, right? So again, if we feel confident in this buy, cool, but risk to reward would not be the best, right? If it does end up pulling like back or something. So we gotta be really, really risky on this little. But I still gotta analyze it into depth a little bit. Same thing goes for gold, same thing goes for UA30. I've been just kind of focused more on this UJ pair for today just because it is Sunday. So again, not a bad start, right? So we'll just focus on that. So key takeaways that I'm really, really proud on is just, again, closing out, right? We closed out. When we start thinking about, okay, money and this, and we start to feel attachment to that money, to the move, to all that, just close out. Just close out, right? Like I said, throughout this whole entire push right here, I did not feel any of that. I felt good. I felt confident. The minute it started getting to this key level and I was up 300 bucks, I started thinking about the money, started thinking about the whole move, started thinking about, I just started thinking a lot more. Just close out, right? I shouldn't be thinking like that. should be automatic. It should just literally be automatic, just flow. So once we start to think, just close out. So yeah, so that's kind of the outlook for the top of the week. It is Sunday. We'll see where this does end up heading towards. Like I said, I do see us pushing down here, and this would be a nice sell-off right here. When? Don't know. This can take another week potentially. Or it can just continue to push up, right? Doesn't mean we have to sell off just because we're at a key level. It could literally push even all the way to up here, even make higher highs. You know what I mean? There's that. The last thing I saw in the news was that they were like gonna reach a deal between like the whole war that's going on right now. And they were close to kind of making a deal, so I could see this pushing up if that deal does end up happening. I'm not really a fundamental type of trader, but kind of what I know, that's what it would kind of be based off of. But again, anything can happen, right? I'm just more technical. I'm waiting for my structure to pretty much show me that it has potential to sell off, and then we're at a nice key level. It has been pushing up very choppy all here. So who knows? Maybe a nice sell off is bound to come, right? Even the MA lines up perfectly with that daily key level here actually. So this could definitely be TP1 for the overall move, and this could be definitely TP2, and then TP3 would be down here. This would be like starting a new whole trend. This would be that perfect scenario, right? But again, that can take months. Right now we're just focused on this current structure. So that's pretty much the analysis. We'll see what happens.